JJ Benitez is an acclaimed Spanish journalist, author, and philologist born in Pamplona in 1946. He is famous globally for his books on enigmas and mysteries, especially about UFOs and aliens. Throughout his literary career, he has published about 70 books, many of which have become international bestsellers, such as the Horse saga.
From Troy, his
works have been translated into more than 18 languages and have sold millions of copies worldwide. Benitez is considered one of the greatest exponents of the dissemination of inexplicable, paranormal, and mysterious phenomena. For this reason, it has also been criticized by some sectors of the scientific community and the church. In this video, you will have the opportunity to see an interesting conversation with the renowned writer JJ Benitez, where you will be asked some specific questions with simple answers that will reveal more about your life as a mystery investigator, giving us some advice and teaching us
from his wisdom.
Additionally, we will discuss his latest book, Trojan Horse to Bethlehem, which concludes the saga.
Mystery Town, a warm welcome to another exciting
interview.
More recently, we didn't have one and we came back for it.
Big thanks.
At Editorial Planeta. On this occasion, I am next to one of the people who has most inspired me in life to enter this world of mystery research, although I suppose he has told him a lot. But even in my book, it is written there what it represented in my life, because I entered to study journalism in Bogota.
And it's out.
Writer and mystery researcher JJ Benitez, Master, welcome to Enigma Connection.
All right, thank you very much.
After so many years, how have you resisted so many years in the investigation?
Let's consider this. I think research is born for, And in my case, since journalism helped me a lot, curiosity multiplied. And at a certain point, 51 years ago, I began to investigate the UFO phenomenon in life after death. And it is already as if I had it injected into a vein, right? I hear about a case and I try to investigate it. I'm going to the place. I think it's fate, not people's. Everyone has their contract. And
to date, it has been worth everyone.
Yes, of course, it has been worth it, even though there are also many shadows and difficult moments. But in general, I have enriched myself a lot with the research. I have found a lot of information that, of course, immediately transmits. YY has made me, I think, I don't know if better person I try, right?
Is there something that has always worried me, and it is the meaning of the life of this life that we had to live, I say for Juanjo. What is the meaning of life from his perception?
Well, I think generally. Because there are exceptions and there are more particular cases, no. But in general, the human beings who are born on earth, who are born in this life, come with an objective that is to learn, to experience, above all, to experience. That is, I explain and say that every human being comes from a place of which no one remembers anything. Because that is the law, and you come here to earth to experience matters that there in that place, in our true home, cannot be experienced. For example, time. Here, yes, for example, pain. Here, yes, for example, friendship, hatred, death, blood. In envy, love, physical love, that is, there is no there, or I don't think there is.
When we come to experience this life is important, or would you believe that we do or do fulfill what we come consciously or unconsciously or reincarnate?
I don't believe in reincarnation, or at least I have many doubts Look, people who believe in reincarnation often say that we come to Earth to learn. And I say that doesn't make much sense, because if you lived 1 billion lives or whatever, you wouldn't be able to learn practically anything from what surrounds you, therefore. Apart from the fact that God, the He, the Blue Father in whom I believe, is never repeated, never, neither in the drops of water nor in our thoughts, in anything, then I see no point in being born again and being born again and dying again. I believe that you live this experience of life for as long as it takes. And you come home, you come back to a world very different from this one.
Would you like it if it existed?
The possibility.
To be born again?
I wouldn't like it.
Because?
Well, because it is a very hard, very difficult planet. Life is very complicated. You have good times and horrible times. So well, you live once. Is that all experienced just once? Honestly, unless it's for a special mission, I prefer not to reincarnate.
What's the greatest mystery to John about humanity?
There is a lot, right? But indeed, the holy sheet of Turin's image caught my attention greatly. Well, that's supposed to be. We think it's the dead Jesus of Nazareth. Well, of course, the UFO phenomenon is incredibly big and old, and so is the one you mentioned about the afterlife.
In some book, quite a while ago, in some of his books, I read that researchers had to be investigated, and I always wanted to ask him that question because investigate the investigators.
Well, because what I see is that very strange things happen to almost all researchers, for example, of the UFO phenomenon, very unique situations that are not normal. And then the first thing you think is that those people, those researchers, are being directed or remote controlled for that, he said. Investigators should be investigated.
And in this case, it could be how much directed?
Yes, no, I have no trouble admitting it. That is, to me, like many researchers, very strange things have happened to us that only have one explanation, that someone superior is controlling not a person's life.
Going back to the present time, and I would like to ask you, how do you see the investigation of mysteries in current times of social networks?
Well, the truth is that I don't follow social networks much, I don't have much idea. I see there's a shortage of researchers all over the world. I mean, there aren't as many researchers as there were 40 years ago. Well, maybe not because of the circumstances. And, well, I hope that the young people who appear now in the sea will remain, not that they are faithful, although there are many problems, there are many difficulties in continuing the investigation of mysteries and UFOs. There are many problems. Why? Well, because UFO books are ruinous. In almost everyone, that is, no. You never cover the expenses that an investigation has cost you.
And in that order of ideas, how to get started with someone who may be listening. I know that there are many young people who follow me on my channel and ask me, but what advice could you give to the young people who want it? Enter or be mystery investigators.
It is very difficult, but hey, if someone really likes the topic and is interested in it, the only advice that can be given to them is that Despite the difficulties and the problems, they move forward to the extent of their possibilities, even in a small place. It doesn't matter if you like the subject, if you're interested. If you want to investigate, let him investigate and investigate. You only learn one way, by investigating. There are no rules. Experience itself will tell that person, that young researcher, whether things are going well or badly. Wrong many times one, wrong many times and very few right, but that's part of the game.
Normally, it would be said that then one in an investigation, no definitive conclusions could be reached.
It's complicated.
In the mystery.
Man, you can come to certain kinds of conclusions in specific cases and say, well, a gentleman has had an encounter with a ship or with the crew, not when you talk to him, when you examine the case, if there are prints, etc., etc. Well, the conclusion that he is telling the truth and therefore that there are civilizations that are not human, that are appearing on Earth from time to time, etc., and little more.
And that's why I asked the question a little ago. I also remember a case from his book, Ricky, really impressive, fascinating.
That's why I wanted to.
Asking the question too, that case remained there, it no longer exists. Thus with the book YY closed, he did not have anything more additional after the years, more information.
Yes. I don't know exactly when, but I plan to write the second part eventually.
Do you think he's going to publish more books?
I hope so.
There's still some ink left.
Yes, there is. There is a lot of research going on.
As for Colombia, do you remember any cases that have impacted you?
There is a case that particularly caught my attention. A contact named Enrique Castillo Rincon, widely known, shared it with me first time. This man told me how a guerrilla crashed something in Tucumayo. And then the guerrillas arrived. There was something shattered there, possibly some artifact or broken apparatus, some corpses and 2 living beings. They took them thinking they were foreigners, tortured them, and one guerrilla felt sorry and killed them. He shot them both. Well, if that tale is true, well, if it's said the bodies are buried somewhere there, the idea was to locate that specific guerrilla and have him guide you to Tucumayo, attempting to see if the remains can be found.
And to date, right?
Up to now, we haven't succeeded due to guerrillas. It was very complex to reach there. Currently, it seems there's still something good remaining, but you could try.
However, it's still a single one.
Complicated of.
To experiment further, we have his new Trojan Horse book, number 12, Bethlehem. This edition marks the complete conclusion of the horse saga.
Absolutely, yes, that's correct.
What are people's expectations for this book?
Well, it's been 6 entire months. From the beginning of the public life of Jesus' teacher, where they are forced to escape, to flee Jerusalem because they are going to capture them. Age, the Sanhedrin, the priests. And on that 6-month journey, they flee. They pass through Bethlehem. They go to the Dead Sea. They go to a series of places and a series of things happen to them.
To all the individuals seeking more information, in the video's description, there will be all the accessible links, including not only the Trojan Horse book number 2, but also the official Grupo Planeta page.
End of.
JJ Benitez. To finish, I would like to ask you what else you need. Has what you dreamed of as a child been fulfilled, or what else you need to do?
I wanted to be Michelangelo, but I found out late that the position had already been filled. So what I like is drawing. I have a great time. My time flies. And in fact, in some of my books, I try to illustrate them, Well, I think I've done my main job, or almost done, telling the life of Jesus of Nazareth in 7,000 pages. It's important and good work. I will continue with research to the extent of my possibilities and publishing books about what I find. But in fact, my life is almost resolved in that sense, as it could not be otherwise, because each contract is fulfilled yes or yes. It appears at a certain point many years ago, and I begin to investigate to the extent of my possibilities what the law of contract is. And what I understand is that if that were true, each human being chooses what he wants to do on earth before he is born. When he is born, what you have chosen is erased and fulfilled. What you have chosen, whatever it may be. Until the end, that's what I call the...
Contract law, plain and simple.
All bad? Well, regulate the way to die when what family, what friends, everyone, everything.
Juanjo continues to make the pacts and signs with certain people.
I don't make so many pacts anymore. I was. I had a time when I did quite a few, and they were spectacular results, but it's been a while. No, I don't need it because I know what awaits me on the other side.
And who expects what on the other side?
On the other side, life, physical life and beyond. That has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with what the Catholic Church or the Buddhists or Muslims have. It's not different, much better.
Will religion ever evolve into something greater?
History. I think, look at that. In the life of humanity, are there phases or stages? Are there stages when man practiced the religion of fear, The ones in the caves, because they were afraid of the moon or fire. There they worshipped the moon and fire. Then came another stage in which the religion of dogma was implemented, where you have to obey and accept what the churches or religions tell you. Often these dogmas are absurd, right? A time will come. We are now in the era of dogma. There will come a time when humanity embraces the religion of spirit, driven by personal search, with its failures and successes.
At this time, Juan Jose Benitez will end his search, succumbing to his fears. Okay.
Women and computers.
Because
they're all so much smarter than us, and computers, because there's no way I can understand that evil device.
Kong.
No, because there are no more spare parts available. I had to switch to using the computer since Olivetti no longer repaired my machines.
Well, Juanjo, thank you very much for this very small space and also very enriching in Enigma connection. For me, it really is a huge honor on the part of my channel and all the people who follow us, because this is not just part of me. We are going to gift you with very good little investigations that...
Thank you very much.
I know that many of them are going to worry you. You are going to like them.
I'm going to start reading it tomorrow on a trip I have to Ecuador.
Perfect. Thank you very much for being in this space.
Very good.